Imagine standing at the edge of a vast forest. You want to explore it, but before you take a single step, you need to understand what kind of terrain lies ahead. Is it dense with thorns? Are there clear paths? Will you need tools to navigate it? Your mind is that forest, an intricate and wild landscape filled with endless possibilities. To master your mind, you must first become aware of this terrain, the thoughts, beliefs, and patterns that shape your daily experience. Without this awareness, any attempt to change or control your mental world is like wandering blindly, hoping to find your way, but often getting lost. This journey begins with honest observation. Most people go through life on autopilot, barely noticing the constant stream of thoughts that pass through their minds. These thoughts influence your feelings, your actions, and ultimately your reality. The first key to mastering your mind is to catch yourself in the act, to observe your mental habits without judgment. Are your thoughts predominantly positive, encouraging, and solution-oriented? Or do they lean toward doubt, fear, and limitation? When you learn to recognize these patterns, you gain a powerful advantage, the ability to choose which thoughts to nurture and which to let go. There is a profound truth here. Your mind is like a fertile garden. Whatever you plant and tend will grow. If you plant seeds of negativity and self-doubt, they will flourish, choking out confidence and peace. But if you cultivate seeds of optimism, faith, and resilience, your garden will bloom with strength and joy. Awareness is the gardener's first task. Without it, you cannot tend your garden well. This is why so many fail to master their minds. They remain unaware of the weeds they have allowed to grow unchecked. The mind often operates through subconscious habits developed over years, sometimes from childhood, sometimes from repeated experiences and messages from others. These deeply ingrained beliefs act like invisible chains, restricting your ability to think freely and creatively. But here's the empowering part. These chains are not permanent. The moment you become aware of them, they lose their grip. The act of shining light on your limiting thoughts weakens their control. It's like a prisoner who suddenly discovers the door to his cell is unlocked. Awareness reveals the way out. Now, how do you cultivate this awareness? Begin by simply paying attention to your thoughts throughout the day. Notice what you tell yourself when things don't go as planned. Do you immediately assume failure or blame yourself? Or do you pause and consider a different perspective? Journaling can be a helpful tool here. Writing down your thoughts allows you to step back and see patterns you might otherwise miss. Meditation, too, is invaluable because it trains your mind to observe without getting caught up in the stories your thoughts tell. As you grow more aware, you'll notice the power of your self-talk, the internal voice that narrates your life. This voice can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It either builds your confidence or tears it down. The choice of which voice to listen to belongs entirely to you. One simple yet profound practice is to question the truth of your negative thoughts. Often they are exaggerated or unfounded. When you challenge them, you weaken their influence and open space for healthier, more empowering beliefs. But awareness alone is not enough. It is the doorway, not the destination. Once you are aware, you must actively decide what kind of thoughts you will feed. Mastering your mind means mastering this choice. Imagine your thoughts as workers in a factory, producing the reality you experience. If you employ pessimism, fear, and doubt, that is what you will get. But if you choose to employ hope, determination, and faith, your factory will produce success and peace. The power to hire and fire these mental workers rests entirely with you. Throughout this process, patience is essential. Changing your mental habits is like training a muscle. It takes time and consistent effort. You will slip back into old patterns. It's part of the journey. But every time you notice and correct course, your mind grows stronger and more disciplined. This is how mastery is built. One moment of awareness and choice after another. Remember, the mind is not an enemy to be conquered, but a partner to be understood and guided. When you approach it with curiosity rather than judgment, you create a space where growth is possible. Awareness brings freedom, the freedom to shape your thoughts, emotions, and actions in ways that align with your highest goals and values. It is the foundation upon which all other methods of mastering your mind rest. So, stand at the edge of your mental forest with eyes wide open, ready to explore. Observe your thoughts, understand their influence, and choose which to cultivate. In this act of awareness, you take the first step toward mastering your mind, unlocking a power that will shape every aspect of your life. Mastery begins with awareness, nothing more, nothing less. You said, harnessing the power of positive thinking. Expand key point 2 into a 750-word segment flowing naturally within the speech and maintaining alignment with the overall key points. Avoid any headings and ensure the tone is seamless and conversational. Conclude with only the necessary closing line for impact. And don't mention Napoleon Hill name and write it like Napoleon Hill is giving speech. In key point, ChatGPT said, there is a force within you far more powerful than any external circumstance, and that force is your thinking. The thoughts you choose to entertain, the beliefs you embrace, and the attitude you carry all serve as the architects of your reality. It is not merely what happens to you, but how you respond mentally to those events that determines the course of your life. Harnessing the power of positive thinking is not a naive optimism or a blind denial of difficulties. It is a deliberate and disciplined choice to focus your mind on what serves your highest good, despite challenges. Consider the mind as a powerful magnet, drawing toward itself whatever thoughts you consistently hold. Negative thinking acts like a magnet that pulls in fear, failure, and frustration. Positive thinking, on the other hand, draws opportunities, courage, and success. The difference between these two is the lens through which you view your life. And this lens can be cleaned, adjusted, and replaced at any moment. The power to shift your mental focus from negativity to positivity is not dependent on your circumstances, but entirely on your own conscious effort. It's important to understand that positive thinking is not about ignoring problems or pretending life is perfect. It is about refusing to be defeated by them. When setbacks arise, and they will, you have the choice to see them as insurmountable walls or as stepping stones toward growth. This mindset transforms obstacles into lessons and failures into feedback. In fact, those who master their minds realize that every challenge contains the seed of equal or greater benefit, if only one chooses to look for it. The practice of positive thinking requires vigilance. Negative thoughts are sneaky and persistent. They often come disguised as facts, as warnings, or as realistic assessments. But many times, these thoughts are simply fears dressed in disguise. It is your duty to question the validity of these thoughts and replace them with empowering alternatives. For example, instead of telling yourself, I will never succeed, you might choose to say, I am learning and growing with every step I take. This shift may seem small, but repeated daily, it rewires your mind to expect success rather than failure. One of the most effective ways to cultivate positive thinking is through the practice of affirmations. These are simple, clear statements of intention or belief, spoken aloud or silently with conviction. Affirmations work because they send powerful signals to your subconscious mind, the part of you that controls most of your actions and reactions. Repeating affirmations daily can gradually overwrite negative self-talk and replace it with empowering beliefs. For instance, I am capable of achieving my goals becomes a truth your mind accepts and acts upon. Visualization also plays a crucial role in harnessing positive thinking. When you imagine yourself succeeding, experiencing joy, or overcoming challenges, you program your brain to believe these outcomes are possible. This mental rehearsal prepares you emotionally and mentally for real-life success. The mind cannot easily distinguish between vividly imagined experiences and real ones. This means the more clearly you visualize your goals, the more you align your subconscious mind with the path to achieving them. Remember, positive thinking fuels motivation and persistence. When you believe in a positive outcome, you are more likely to take consistent action toward it. Doubt and negativity, conversely, drain your energy and lead to procrastination or giving up. This is why mastering your mind is essential, because your thoughts are the foundation for your actions. If your foundation is built on positive thinking, your actions will naturally follow suit. It's also important to surround yourself with positivity wherever possible. The people you associate with, the books you read, the media you consume, all these influence your mindset. Negative influences can erode your confidence and reinforce limiting beliefs, while positive influences uplift and inspire. Choose to immerse yourself in environments that nurture your mental strength and encourage your growth. Of course, the journey to positive thinking is not without its difficulties. Sometimes life will test your resolve with trials that shake your confidence. In these moments, remind yourself that the power to choose your thoughts remains firmly in your hands. Even when circumstances seem overwhelming, you can find a flicker of hope, a spark of determination to redirect your thinking toward the positive. Ultimately, mastering positive thinking is about creating a mental habit. Like any habit, it takes practice and patience. Each time you catch yourself slipping into negativity and consciously choose to shift your thoughts, you strengthen your mental muscles. Over time, positive thinking becomes your default setting rather than a forced effort. Know this: your mind is your most loyal servant when trained well. It is always ready to work for you, but it requires clear direction. By harnessing the power of positive thinking, you are giving your mind the clearest and most powerful instructions to bring about success, happiness, and peace. Positive thinking is not merely a feel-good notion. It is a fundamental principle of mental mastery. It is the key that unlocks the door to your true potential. Hold this key firmly, and the life you desire is within your reach. Positive thinking is the foundation upon which all achievement is built. Said, mindfulness and meditation. Training mental focus expand key point 3 into a 750-word segment, flowing naturally within the speech and maintaining alignment with the overall key points. Avoid any headings and ensure the tone is seamless and conversational. Conclude with only the necessary closing line for impact, and don't mention Napoleon Hill name, and write it like Napoleon Hill is giving speech in key point, ChatGPT said. In the constant noise of life, the endless distractions, worries, and demands on your attention, there lies an incredible power waiting to be tapped, the ability to focus your mind with intention and clarity. The restless mind is like a wild horse, beautiful but difficult to control. Without training, it darts from one thought to another, overwhelmed by every impulse and distraction. But through the practice of mindfulness and meditation, you learn to gently guide this wild horse, to calm the noise, and to harness your mental energy for greater strength and precision Mindfulness is the simple yet profound act of paying attention, really paying attention, to the present moment without judgment. It is the awareness of your thoughts, your feelings, and the world around you, observed with a calm and steady mind. This awareness is not passive. It is an active choice to be fully engaged in the here and now, rather than lost in regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. When you cultivate mindfulness, you begin to notice the patterns of your thinking, the impulses that drive you, and the distractions that pull you away from your purpose. Meditation is the training ground for mindfulness. It is the deliberate practice of sitting quietly and focusing your attention, often on your breath, a word, or a simple sensation. At first, this may feel challenging because the mind naturally resists stillness. Thoughts will arise, and the temptation to follow them is strong. But each time you gently bring your attention back to your chosen focus, you are exercising your mental muscle, building concentration and discipline. Why is this training so vital for mastering your mind? Because focus is the gateway to all other mental powers. Without control over your attention, your mind is scattered and your energy dissipates. You may have great ideas or noble intentions, but without focus, they remain just that, ideas and intentions. When you train your mind to concentrate, you create the conditions for deep thinking, creativity, and effective decision-making. Your mental clarity improves, and distractions lose their hold over you. Consider how often your mind wanders during the day. You start a task, but soon find yourself drifting to unrelated thoughts, worries, or daydreams. This fragmentation of attention reduces your effectiveness and drains your energy. But when you practice mindfulness, you become aware of these distractions as they arise. You catch your mind before it runs away, and you gently bring it back to the task at hand. This simple act of returning focus again and again rewires your brain to be stronger and more resilient against distraction. Furthermore, mindfulness and meditation cultivate emotional balance. When you observe your thoughts and feelings without immediate reaction, you create a space between stimulus and response. In that space lies your power to choose how to act. Instead of being swept away by anger, fear, or frustration, you learn to respond with calmness and wisdom. This emotional control is crucial for mental mastery because unchecked emotions cloud judgment and drain mental energy. Another benefit of mindfulness is its ability to reduce stress. In moments of anxiety, your mind races with worst-case scenarios and overwhelming worries. Meditation teaches you to return to the present moment, focusing on your breath or a peaceful image. This anchors your mind, helping to quiet the noise of stress and allowing your body and mind to relax. Over time, this regular practice strengthens your ability to remain calm and centered, even amid life's storms. Mindfulness also sharpens your awareness of your mental habits. Often we move through life on autopilot, reacting based on ingrained patterns rather than conscious choice. Meditation reveals these patterns, bringing them to light so you can decide which serve you and which do not. This self-knowledge is the foundation for change. When you understand your mind's tendencies, you gain the power to redirect them toward constructive and empowering directions. Imagine the power of combining focus, emotional control, and self-awareness. This combination allows you to approach your goals with steady determination. No longer tossed about by fleeting thoughts or emotions, you hold the reins of your mind firmly in your hands. This is the essence of mental mastery. It is not about eliminating thoughts or emotions, they will come and go, but about developing the skill to observe without being overwhelmed, to choose your focus deliberately, and to act with clarity. The beauty of mindfulness and meditation is that they are accessible to everyone. You don't need special equipment or conditions, just a willingness to practice. Even a few minutes a day can begin to transform your mental landscape. The more consistent you are, the more profound the results. Like physical exercise strengthens the body, these practices strengthen the mind, building resilience, clarity, and peace. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it is easy to forget the power of quieting your mind. Yet it is in this quiet space that true mastery begins. When your mind is still, you hear the subtle guidance of intuition and wisdom. You gain the clarity to see your path and the discipline to follow it. Mindfulness and meditation are the keys that unlock this stillness, giving you control over your mental world rather than being controlled by it. Train your mind to focus, to be present, and to observe without judgment. In doing so, you cultivate a calm and powerful mind capable of shaping your destiny. This mental training is not a luxury, but a necessity for those who seek true mastery. The mind, when trained with mindfulness and meditation, becomes your greatest ally in every endeavor. You said, setting clear goals and visualization. Expand key point 4 into a 750-word segment, flowing naturally within the speech and maintaining alignment with the overall key points. Avoid any headings and ensure the tone is seamless and conversational. Conclude with only the necessary closing line for impact, and don't mention Napoleon Hill name, and write it like Napoleon Hill is giving speech in key point. ChatGPT said, every achievement begins with a clear destination in mind. Without a goal, your efforts scatter like leaves in the wind, lacking direction and purpose. To master your mind, you must first learn the art of setting clear goals. This is more than just wishing or hoping for something to happen. It is a deliberate and precise act of defining exactly what you want to accomplish. When your goals are clear, your mind has a target to focus on, a beacon that guides your thoughts, energy, and action. The clarity of your goals serves as a map for your mental journey. It eliminates confusion and uncertainty, providing a sense of purpose that propels you forward even when obstacles arise. Without this clarity, your mind drifts aimlessly, vulnerable to distraction and doubt. But when you articulate your goals with precision, knowing what you want, why you want it, and by when, you set in motion a powerful mental process that organizes your thoughts and resources around that objective. Setting goals is not enough, however. The mind works best when it can vividly imagine success, feel the emotions associated with achievement, and anticipate the rewards that come with it. This is where visualization enters the picture. Visualization is the practice of creating detailed mental images of yourself reaching your goals. When you picture your success in your mind's eye, you engage your subconscious in a way that aligns your entire being with the outcome you desire. Think of visualization as a rehearsal for the mind. Just as an athlete mentally rehearses a game before stepping onto the field, you too can prepare your mind to achieve greatness. When you visualize, you stimulate the same neural pathways that are activated during actual performance. This mental practice makes your goals feel more real and attainable, strengthening your belief in yourself and your ability to succeed.